this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
And I'm James.
Oh, the gorgeous James is right beside me. It's quite funny. I am lit up like a fairy on a Christmas tree. And James, you seem really dark. Is that because...
Yes, I'm a cave troll.
Ah, okay. That's all right then.
I don't go outside. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. So, well, let's say this. If you're hearing this and you're hearing this next sentence that comes out of my mouth, this is actually a YouTube video. Oh, there he is. And if it's not, if you don't hear this, then it's safe to say that Gemma couldn't do the editing. So it's actually just an audio thing. So yeah, so if you don't hear that, then you won't know any different, will you?
Either that or you've not plugged your headphones in.
Well, yeah, exactly. Will you stop fiddling about?
If you're seeing this, it's a YouTube video, therefore you're watching us on YouTube. If you're just hearing us, you're listening on Podbean. And if you can't see or hear us, you've not plugged your headphones in.
Or Gemma's forgot to release the episode. One of the two.
or Gemma's released an empty void of 2-hour silence.
Yeah, 2 hours. Oh my God, we're not recording for 2 hours.
That's what you think.
Yeah, we're not. So this episode is actually us reviewing episode 1 because it was a suggestion that was given to us by one of our listeners. For the YouTube watchers and for any new listeners, you are now officially called a salty tadpole. And think about it. Why is it a salty tadpole? I'm sure you can work it out. But anyway,
Gemma's really dirty.
Well, Andy is too. Because Andy came up with it as well as I did. So I came up with tadpole, he came up with salty. We put the two together. Magic happened.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So in a sense, this is a reaction video or reaction audio, depending on which one you prefer to watch. But why wouldn't you want to see our beautiful faces?
Yeah, especially mine.
Exactly. It's so gorgeous. It's so stunning. So, yeah. So, obviously, pause the pod, put it on silent, give us the download, and then head over to YouTube and watch us there. That would be really fun. That would be really fun.
And maybe with your listening, Gemma will finally get those elocution lessons.
Oh, you never know. I might ever learn to not say, shall I say, Yeah. So anyway, we're going to review episode 1, and this is probably going to be, I imagine it's going to be butchered a little bit because in the days of the horse and cart, children, 9 years ago, I started this podcast, and it has been a wild 9 years, and I've got few stories to tell during that, which I might actually tell at the beginning that I've never talked about on the podcast. So I might actually bring that up as well. And so this was way before the current James, the other James, the Andy, the Joanne, the Gabrielle. Oh my God, sorry about Gabrielle that I forgot your name then. I do apologize. But yeah, it was just I do. It was just little old me at that point, and I was so sweet and innocent. Now I'm pretty bitter and twisted. Yeah. So shall I dish the dirt, James? What do you think?
You're the boss. You can do what you like.
Yeah, go on then. So this podcast started. I think it actually says that we started in 2018, but we didn't. We started in 2017, and that year was an interesting year. I was with another network, which I'm not going to name the name of the network because I'm not a dick. But
sorry, tadpoles, put your teapots away. There's no spilling of tea this time.
Yeah, no, there will be spilling, but I don't think it's right to, even though the network I don't think even exists anymore. I still don't feel it's right to fully, wash your dirty laundry in public, sort of thing. So, So anyway, so I was with this network to begin with, and previously I'd been on another podcast called Hullabaloo. And you may hear me talk about that. I'm not sure. I can't remember what happened in this episode or not. But so I was one of 5 people on that podcast, and it was a bit chaotic because we had myself in the UK, 3 Americans, and 1 Canadian. But there was like so many different time zones; it was insane to keep up with everyone. So that's kind of what inspired me to go off and do my own thing, which, at the time was really good. And obviously I've carried it on. So it's obviously really good. And I've been enjoying it, sort of. There's been days when I don't, and then there's days when I do. So it's all good.
I mean, to be fair, that's any hobby.
Yeah. I mean, this is a hobby, not a second job. I'm pretty certain it's a second job for me.
Wait, you get paid?
No. Sorry. Yeah. A second job that I don't get paid at. But so this network that I was with, we had a massive falling out. They were pressuring me to do a lot of things that I really didn't want to do. Not non-sexual or anything like that. But
I was going to say they haven't invented OnlyFans yet by this point, had they?
No, they hadn't, not yet. No. But they and the way that they put things, it was just very aggressive and horrible. It was such a horrible experience that first year. And I decided that I wanted to leave the network. And they were like, fine, if you're going to leave, we're not going to give you your money back for the network fee, which was 50 quid or something like that. It wasn't major money. But at the same time, I was like, well, okay, whatever, keep it. But what they did was they straight away took down all of my podcast stuff. So I had to go searching through, and I don't think he listens anymore, but an Australian friend of mine called Beej, he helped me massively at the time, because he basically collected all of my episodes and sent them to me, and then helped me get onto Apple Podcasts. Because at this point, I had no clue what I was doing because the network was doing it all for me. Yeah. So it was like, and then trying to get on Podbean and making sure that nobody stole the name and things like that. It was such a stressful and horrible time, and it's kind of, well, it still obviously affects me to this day in some ways, because that's why I think that sometimes I come across as maybe a bit protective of this podcast because of that first experience. So although I'm with another network now, it did take me a while to kind of, join something else. And
you were very, very cautious, because I remember the messages. Because you would kept asking us multiple times, myself, Stafford, Andy, but should we do this? I remember just having to say, Gemma, the ball is in your court. This is your baby. Yeah. You do with it as you see fit. I will support you no matter what. That's why we are releasing OnlyFins. The salty tadpole dirty site.
Do you know what I really wanted to do? Because, we've been talking about Patreon and things like this a while back, way before we were having the conversation. I thought to myself, oh, wouldn't it be good? I think actually, again, it was an Andy thing. He said about OnlyFins, and I said, oh my God, that would be an amazing name for the podcast, for Patreon. And so I thought, right, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to try and secure it, kind of thing. Unfortunately, it was already taken by a stupid well, I shouldn't really batter them, but I'll batter them. But yeah, but yeah, it's like a fish podcast. It was to do with like fish and is it conservation? Is that the right word?
For me, it's more consumption, but conservation works.
marine biology,
then,
kind of.
That conservation, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I wasn't sure if I was saying the right word. So, thanks for helping.
It's all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's how I started out. And it was, like I said, it was a rather stressful time at the very beginning, but equally, I've also learnt an awful lot of things going it on my own. You can go your own way. Go
And
your
we're
own
copyright struck on
way.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Have you not
Well,
learned from the Adams family? Come on.
oh, that was only in certain areas, though. So there was only certain people that couldn't listen to that episode. It was fine in the UK. It was fine. So should we get into this? Oh, that was another
Yes.
thing as well. Actually, before we do, originally I had a different intro song, which you won't hear different on this clip, because on this recording, because I had to then go and change it again. But one of the guys from the network actually decided that he was gonna put an intro together for me, which at the time was amazing. And I was like, thank you ever so much, because it's incredible. But then he sold the rights to the music behind the intro, and he was like, right, you can't use that anymore. I was like, but you made it for me. Why did you sell it? So I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I've heard it in various different places, and I'm wondering, did he actually do it, or was it that the song already existed and he got caught? So
Was it a case
I
of
think,
did he simply combine it with the
yeah,
voiceover? And it was like, well,
yeah,
technically it was copyright free anyway. It was copyright free and I infringed on it, so hush.
yeah. So I think that might be the case. And the other thing to note as well is that out of all of those people on that network, this girl is the only one still podcasting. So there you go.
Woo! Victory!
Anyway, I'm gonna stop bitching about that kind of thing, and I'm just gonna laugh my fucking ass off at how stupid I am, and how
Past Gemma.
this was, past Gemma, and still very sweet, very kind. Again, I'm staying still. I'm a bit more bitter and twisted now.
Not the callous, heartless bitch we're used to.
No, exactly. And my editing skills were not fantastic, which you may hear in a moment. So I'm thinking that if you want to stop it and say something, maybe just go like that. Okay. So if we want to stop, we do this. Okay.
Strange hand signals away.
Yes. Right. Ready? Steady.
Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Just to stop there very quickly. I love Americans, and I love our American salty tadpoles. I absolutely do.
However,
But the pronunciation of codswallop always makes me laugh, because they add an extra S. It's like codswallop.
yeah, it's like they're trying to force a watermelon into their mouths at one. It's like asking a German to say squirrel. It's just confusing, but highly entertaining.
Yeah, it's like asking a Dorset person to say squirrel as well. I said that properly then, but normally we say squirrel. Squirrel. Right.
And I love the multi-level mixing. It's all right. I love the multi-level mixing because it's taken at multiple cons. So it's like someone sounds like they're 8 foot away from the microphone, and then Kevin Smith sounds like he's trying to inhale it.
Yes, he definitely was trying to inhale it, but that was amazing still. Yeah. So yeah. It was the idea was to tell people this is cool. I got to speak to these people at a Comic-Con. So yeah. But right. So let's hear our music. welcome to Talking Codswallop. This is Gemma, and this is the first episode. I cannot wait to get started with this project. I've been looking forward to starting. Apologies, James.
How many times have you argued with us about mic quality, and that is what came out in your first podcast?
I had no idea what I was doing.
I still think you don't, but
How dare you? How bloody dare you?
Oh, hush! You know I love you.
I know, and you know I love you too. Also, just a quick note as well that the intro music, can't remember the actual song, but it is. It's been a while, guys. All right, it's been a while, but the music is anyway by this guy called Chuck Staton, who is to do with like talking. To do with Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast, which again James hasn't listened to, but he had a bat. Pardon?
I might have.
Have you though?
No.
No, exactly. See, sometimes people, I do know things, you know, and I talk with my hands a lot. You might have noticed. But anyway, yeah, he had a band called Senior Discount, and they were like a punk rock kind of band, and that was the intro to one of his songs. And he said that I could have it, but I genuinely can't remember the name of the actual song. But I think it fits us perfectly. So, what do you think, James? Do you think it fits us perfect?
I think it's a banger.
Yeah, me too. Right, let's see what sweet innocent Gemma wants to say. Podcast for a long time. I have got another podcast which I do with 4 friends, and that is called the Hullabaloo podcast, and they are
Not
the
friends
reason
anymore,
why
though, are they?
I'm doing this really. They gave me the inspiration, and they also gave me the courage as well to go ahead and do my own thing. So this episode is based on me. I am not with a guest this time. I'm just purely with myself, and also this podcast is coming to you being recorded in the future, but you're listening to it in the past. I mean, mind boggle, right? To be fair, I still say that to this day.
You still say made up. You still say made up stuff that makes no sense. So at least that's
I do. But
we're recording this in the future, but you're listening to it in the past, even though you're listening to it now. Gemma, that makes no sense. What are you talking about, woman? You don't know this, Tadpoles, but this is what I have to put up with in text messages when we have the group chat.
Well, doesn't it peak gifts though?
Don't mention gifts. Don't mention gifts. Only half of them make sense half the time.
Half.
Yeah, my half.
Yeah. No, yeah. Anyway,
two boomers with the full catalogue of moving images, and they still can't get it right.
I'm not. Are you saying I'm a boomer? Because I'm not a boomer.
Aren't you? Technically.
Oh, I'm a millennial.
I can never remember. I just blame it.
I'm definitely a millennial. I know that. I'm quite proud of it as well. So, right.
I think I just fall into millennial because I'm 89. I think it's the cutoff is 90.
Yes, I think you're right there. Yeah.
So
there you go. 2 millennials and an old fart in that chat. Anyway, let's move on. Right. Also, do you like the editing? How I don't breathe. Like how all of the editing.
One big unbroken sentence.
Yeah. I'm so gushy and lovely at this point as well. It's like
you're so naive, and you're just so full of passion and hope, and I
know. Promise.
The realities of podcasting hasn't shat upon your spirit.
Yeah, you're right. And trying to watch the download numbers dwindle away. Right.
You can watch the light extinguish.
I love that voice. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Say again. Sorry, I apologize.
I can watch it. We can hear the light extinguish from your voice as the episodes carry on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thankfully, I still laugh about everything, though. It's all good. Right, ready? to the Future. So anything like this is fantastic, really. Sadly, I didn't do any time traveling, and sadly, I haven't got a DeLorean. But the reason why this podcast is being recorded again is I did previously do an episode, and to which I really wasn't very happy with it. I tried to edit it as best as possible, and now my editing skills aren't fantastic, but I will learn. And I have got Jerry and Dave and Julie as well, who are being fantastic support for me. Yes, really teach.
I like to self-assess. My editing skills aren't great.
They are now.
She says that she's managed to edit out every pause for breath.
Yeah, I know.
By the sounds of it, it's like it's not that
know.
it's not that your editing skills were bad. It's that you were overzealous.
Yeah, I think 100% I was. I think also it didn't help, if I remember rightly as well, that I'd also recorded another one that got lost, which I was really annoyed about. And so it's really awkward, like talking to yourself as well, because you feel like a complete and utter Burke, just like chatting away to yourself. But still, we do it.
Did you have a script for this one?
No.
Because I think that would probably be what threw you off, is having a conversation with yourself is what makes it awkward. As opposed to reading a monologue, reading a script. That obviously, when you're reading, like we've just done, as a bit of a sneak peek. I won't tell you what about, but I've just recorded 2 separate audio tracks for a certain something coming up, but I won't tell you what. That way you have to listen.
Top secret.
But in one of those, if you'd asked me to just do that off the cuff, it would be rambling nonsense. Me having to look things up. So I think that's the problem that anyone faces. So I don't think you should beat yourself up over that.
No.
Obviously, having a conversation with yourself is difficult, and also, do it in public and you get stared at. But
Exactly. Right.
I think so far you're doing great. And again, we've all got to start. We got to start somewhere. It's not, you can't all be like me and have a belter first episode.
No, I know. You only had a belter first episode because somebody was looking after you. No. To be fair, you were a couple of times on a different podcast as well beforehand, as well, weren't you? Before you joined us.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was just a couple of guest hosts or something that you'd done.
Yeah, they were awful.
Oh, okay. There we go. Let's not talk about that then. Teaching me the ways of what to do and what not to do. I've definitely experienced a few what nots to do already. So yeah, back to the episode that I previously recorded. I wasn't happy with it. So I decided that the first episode needs to kind of pop. It needs to be the one that kind of people decide that you're going to start listening to something if you hear episode 1 and it's reasonably good. I'm not going to say this is going to be excellent because A, I'm talking to myself. B, I'm not sure if I've got any listeners at this stage, so I might be the only one listening to myself.
I don't know why I'm bothering listeners. I might as well just give up. You can't shoot yourself in the foot here, Gemma.
What's the fucking point?
Talk about thinking positively.
No.
There's every chance no one's going to listen to this, but I'm still going to do it.
If only I could have that mindset now. Right. Now, isn't that surely just maybe borderline schizophrenic? It's got to be, hasn't it? Before I go on, I did mention Dave and Jerry a moment ago. They have got a podcast which is coming back this season. The podcast is called Not Your Mama's. I'm going to skip this bit because I don't like them. Pardon?
Did they ever come back is the important part.
No, they didn't. So I'm gonna skip that part because I don't want to give them any promos on this episode. And it may be the case that when I click play, it might be a little bit left, but probably not. They'll probably be halfway through another sentence. So
let's hope for halfway through a sentence.
Yes, hopefully so. Yeah. But yeah, at the same time, a lot of feedback that I got at that time as well was that people were like, why are you halfway through an episode actually promoting somebody else's stuff? And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So to be fair, that was a good learning lesson. So
I mean, that again, if I remember the timeline correctly, you're fresh off this other podcast.
mm,
It's not so. At the same time, you don't want to kind of. I imagine it was probably hard for you to be going alone, and like you felt like you had to keep some connections
yeah.
because again, you're on your own now. So whilst calling out another podcast might seem antithetical,
Mm.
to use a nice big long word, someone got me word of the day toilet paper. But it sounds like it's a bad idea. But in your at that point, you're like, well, I'm on my own. I need need as much help as I can get.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you've got to. It's balancing that act of if I don't shout anyone out, then I'm really on my own. But also, I've got to make sure not to shout out too many people. Otherwise, my podcast just becomes a list of adverts for other things,
Yeah.
which we have long since smashed through.
Of course. Yeah.
And
We
now,
never do shout outs at all anymore.
no, so the lot of yous.
Yeah. No, to be fair,
Polls want us and us alone.
Yeah, I was going to say though, if there is a shout out, there's a good purpose or good reason for that shout out, like to wish somebody well or whatever. So, but
Or
yeah,
collaborations, or
yeah,
we've got a few of them coming out, haven't we?
Well, I need to follow up on that. So
yeah, we got one. We got one in the works.
We have.
You'll have to bear and listen to that one, Tadpoles.
Yeah, exactly. Although, to be fair, they haven't been in touch. So let's contact them.
Give them a poke.
Do you want to still be on our podcast, or do you still want us to be on yours?
Are we still friends?
Yeah.
Podcast friends. Podcast friends.
Right. Let's see if we're halfway through a sentence. Comedy, it's a great idea.
Yes.
Just go for it. If it's in make-believe land, go for it. I love living in make-believe land, so yeah.
You've never left.
Pete, 930.
So
I know what this
was.
One of the ants that we had. Basically, I'd submitted. I'd sort of put out a post saying if anybody's got any questions or whatever that I could answer, just so that I could get going. So got the message a lot quicker. So his Twitter handle is @BlackPeteTESD. Now, if you're listening to this and you're wondering what TESD stands for, I will explain this a little bit later on in the episode, but it is related to a podcast that the majority of these people and myself listen to. It's called Tell 'em Steve Dave, and really great podcast. It's got me out of a lot of dark moments. But like I said, I'll go on to that a little bit later. Who do I hope wins Big Brother UK? Now, obviously, this is now passed, so I could cheat and I could say I really hope that Big Brother.
Really? You started.
I know. Somebody asked me that.
About Big Brother. I'd have hurled that listener under a bus. I'd have gone, I'm not answering that. Go watch some proper telly.
Yeah, to be fair, that was probably like the last time that I'd watched Big Brother. I can't stand it nowadays. So
that's like me asking to bring up Love Island.
So who is going to win Love Island?
I don't care. I hope the island with them all on it.
Or they all get syphilis. One of the two.
No, the problem is they've already all got syphilis. So if the island sinks into the ocean, there's a chance we could end up infecting poor wildlife. So. Let's hope for a tsunami instead.
Yeah. Well, at least that OnlyFins podcast will be able to talk about something for a bit. So,
Love Island sinks, fish get the clap.
That was my kind of clap.
It's a seal clap. All right, come on. Let's hear you answer random questions.
Yeah. This person wins Big Brother, and I know for a fact who won, but I'm not going to do that purely and simply because first of all, I don't watch Big Brother. I'm not really a huge
girl.
fan of reality TV. I don't mind it off in the background. I was still cool even then. 9 years ago, I was still cool.
A woman of integrity.
Yeah, exactly. I have a hill. I die on that hill, and I remain dead on that hill.
And Big Brother's dead at the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly. When you've had a long day and you fancy just putting your feet up and watching something that's a little bit mind-numbing, I don't mind watching it then, but I can't be bothered to get involved in watching these kind of programs. I'd rather put something on in Netflix. Like, for example, at the moment I'm watching Once Upon a Time. Now, it is a bit girly in some ways, but it also isn't. It's kind of a magical program. So if you haven't ever seen Once Upon a Time, it's the story, and it's all the fairy tales put together, and it's a really good series, so I think you should check it out. Sadly, I'm not sponsored by Netflix, but I'm sure that they are going to be listening to this, and then they're going to be sending me a big check for my advertising skills. But Big Brother, let's see. At present,
Guessing that never arrived.
no, Netflix never contacted. No,
I wonder why.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Once Upon a Time, James?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
I'm familiar with it to a degree. Like I scroll past it every time I go on Netflix and go, should I watch something? No, I'll go straight back to the Next Generation like normal.
Yeah. It's it is fun though. It is I still stand by the fact that it is quite fun. But it's basically all of the storybook characters, like Snow White and all that kind of thing. They all come to life, but it's like a real life people sort of walking around. Yeah.
From what from like the clips I've seen of it and like trailers and stuff, kind of reminds me of there was a TV show called Grimm, which was very similar, where it was the brothers Grimm. It was their descendants, and it turns out that actually they could see the werewolves and all the mythical creatures were actually real, and that Grimm could see them, and that was where the show kind of picked up it, but in modern day. So it's like the modern day Grimm family could still see like fae and werewolves as they were trying to pass through society, and it was them basically like they were still the creatures were still terrified of the Grimms for some reason, because it turns out they weren't actually storytellers, they were hunters.
No, I do remember that program, and the two are very similar, but Grimm is much better. It's darker for the most part. So.
Back when telly was good.
Yeah. We've got
At least we got better.
Big Brother. So maybe I should. At least we got better.
Yeah.
What, on the podcast?
No, just didn't like. Yeah, of course it's that podcast.
Because my life's gone down the toilet since I was 9 years ago.
You're still here. That's good enough.
Yeah, I'm still smiling. Might not be true, but I'm still smiling.
Might be because you're insane, but you're still smiling.
I'm definitely insane, by the way, because today I thought it was Wednesday all day until halfway through the day. By the way, I realised it was Thursday. So I suppose in a way that is a good way of it being wrong, because if it had been Thursday and I thought it was Friday, that would really
You've
suck.
lost a day. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've still kind of lost a day, but I'm guessing, have you put 2025 on any of your paperwork yet?
No, because I think with my job, I have to work quite a few weeks in advance. So even in December, I was writing 2026. So that never really actually bothers me. So that's quite a bonus. There we go. My work life is a bonus.
There you go. It's not all bad.
No, exactly. Should we carry on?
Yeah.
I'm dying to know who's going to win Big Brother. answer that, and then I can be a little bit more honest. So I'm just going to actually look to see who's in there. Oh my good God. So Brandy from Housewives of LA is in there. Emily Lilly, okay, I have no idea who she is. Derek Akora is in there, so I'm guessing he knows who's going to win. Wink, wink. She's gone. There's Gemma Lucy, but Gemma Lucy has spelt her name completely wrong. She has happened to spell it with a J, and I really disapprove of that, basically. I have honestly no idea who these people are. Actually, listening more, I am absolutely hearing the cynical me coming out, and also Codswallop in the first episode. I can't believe she spelled her name with a J instead of a G. But I'm still pissed off by the Gemma with the J's. I keep referring to myself in the past as she.
This eldritch horror that we're listening to.
Right. I really couldn't tell. Oh, there's Sean Williamson. Sean Williamson played Barry in EastEnders. So if we've got anybody who's ever watched EastEnders, he played Barry. So I know who he is, but I have honestly no idea who the other people are apart from Derek Akora. So who's going to win out of these people? Honestly, possibly this guy who is called Chad Johnson. Now, if anyone wants to fill me in as to who Chad Johnson is, you're more than welcome. I'm not really bothered. I might Google him a bit later and actually find out. Actually, let's do it now. Let's be antisocial and do it right now. So, Chad Johnson, who are you? Top story, everybody. And now this is something that I will be doing on the future podcasts. And I'm saying future, that as in the ones I haven't recorded yet. This is the third podcast that I've actually recorded technically. But I have recorded one with Dave and Judy. Looking forward to having that as my second episode. And I've also recorded a third one with two friends who are called Nicola and Lucy. And we recap on the events of London. Shout out to Lucy and Nicola, who are still very good friends. And Lucy Caton. Yeah, Lucy Caton is the one that is referenced quite often on this podcast. Nicola, you will be as well when you do something interesting. But I'm joking.
When you do something worthy of my attention, I'll put you on my podcast. Until then, book up your ideas, madam.
Oh dear, she would absolutely find that funny because I know because we know each other well enough.
I hope so.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Film and Comic-Con. So if you don't mind waiting a couple of weeks, that one will be coming up very soon. And now, top story. I've just put Chad Johnson in. Did Sarah Harding and Chad Johnson have sex? I don't know why I emphasised on the sex then, sorry. Now, this is from the Daily Mail. So most Brits actually know that the Daily Mail or the Sun or any of those kind of rags, we wouldn't even want to wrap our fish and chips in them. So they're not very good, reliable. I still agree.
Yeah, the Daily Fail and, the other one I'm legally not allowed to mention, otherwise I get a kicking where I live.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't bring that one up.
Yeah.
Any of the newspapers really nowadays. It's even worse now. But anyway, let's move on. If we step into dangerous territory, I will say, let's move on.
Yeah. I ain't stopping you.
No, exactly. But I don't want to get in there. Source. But here we go. They were seen getting steamy under the sheets last week, resulting in a string of complaints from viewers. Obviously, they were really boring viewers. But Sarah Harding and Chad Johnson showed no signs of stopping on Wednesday as they embarked on another raunchy encounter in Big Brother house. However, the scene which saw the pair admit their...
I do miss the days where Ofcom receiving complaints was newsworthy.
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember?
I do miss those days too.
Every time we had an episode of like Big Brother, it's like, we're going to film these people 24/7, and then someone complained because we did and we saw something that we shouldn't have because we were filming people 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, well, then why are you watching it, you silly old woman? Why are you watching? Because it was always like the late night version, so it's like 11 o'clock when it aired, and people were still complaining. I'm like, well, what are you doing watching it at that time? Shouldn't you be in bed? Your teeth in a glass next to the bed.
Wasn't there a channel as well that did literally aired it 24 hours a day? It was literally like complete footage.
I think that was later on when they had E4.
Maybe.
E4, I think, ran the extended like live stream episodes where they do like 2 hours of
Okay.
not necessarily them performing the tasks like they used to. It was just literally, here's cameras on a group of random strangers we've shoved in a house.
Yeah. No.
I
Yeah,
think
that makes
that
sense.
was E4, I think. Again, I never watched it because it
bored the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even that it bored me. It just didn't even interest me in the beginning. I was like, no, I don't really. It's like going to a human zoo.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching.
The animals are funny and cute. These are just fat, gross people we've shoved in a house.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember watching like the first couple of series of it though, because it was actually quite interesting in those days. You know, like initially with the first drop of the entire series kind of thing. And it was watching people in a house, you know, kind of, you know, how they'd get on and stuff like that. But then it's like they're still doing it today, and it's like it's old news now. Can't you do something more exciting?
I personally think the concept was an interesting idea until you realize how invasive it is.
Yeah.
The idea sounds good, like with so many other things. The idea on paper sounds really interesting, and then you see it, and then you're like, "Oh God, what have we created?"
A monster. Yeah. It's like, what have I created from episode 1?
A wonderful, charming podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, something like that. I love it. I don't care. I love it. Right.
Close contact was too much to handle, sparked a frenzy amongst fans who took to Twitter to ask whether the duo had sex. Okay, so there you go. That's that story.
I will say this as well.
They were either having a cuddle.
Your readings got worse.
That was only a couple of sentences. My reading's all right until, by the way, everyone, just so you know, he's picking on a dyslexic person here. No.
The dyslexic who insists on reading news articles that are poorly formatted.
Do you know why I did that though? On a serious note, is because I didn't want it to defeat me. Like, I know we're making a joke right now, so you know I'm not offended or whatever. But I didn't
mean it, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I didn't want it to overcome me and be like, I can't read now because I've got this issue. It was like I'm going to force through. And to be honest, I have improved on my reading. But at the same time, it does require a lot of editing. So if you ever hear me reading, it's a lot of work behind that. So we won't be doing that on YouTube because I don't know how to edit videos.
37 takes.
Yeah. I think it's when I get tired as well. If I'm tired and I'm reading something, it's like the words all sort of literally jumble around and they mix all in. And I'm just like, I'm reading like 10 words ahead instead of the one that needs to be read. But so yeah, thanks for that, James.
You're welcome.
You know what? Who cares? I mean, if you want to know, then I highly suggest that you read the rest of that article. So I'm giving you a little teaser there. You're more than welcome to find that out. Yeah, so we never really got to the bottom of who Chad Johnson was, but at that point, I'm also not really that bothered. So I'm sure he's fantastic. Oh, he's been on a program called Famously Single, another program I've never watched. I'm going to get back onto my show, if that's all right. Sorry to get you waiting there. Right, so on to the next question. I never actually answered who wins Big Brother UK, so I apologise. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yes, you did!
Derek Okora is going to win and he'll know it. I'm sure he won't.
I don't know if I did. I'm completely blanked out.
You literally, the whole point was you got asked the question, so you went, okay, I think it's going to be Chad Johnson. I don't know who
Oh
he
yeah.
is. Let's go look him up. Okay, so that's who he is. He had sex in the house. All right. So going off that, I actually think Derek Okora is going to win. I like to see that your scatterbrain has not changed.
No, not at all. Not at all.
As you win, but I'm not really bothered who wins. And it's good that the charity actually wins some money, though. That is a good thing. And there was also rumor that OJ, the Juice himself, was actually going to go into the Big Brother house if his parole hearing had gone well and if he got released from prison. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the case that next year that they're going to do this, or if if it's.
Well, that aged well, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. There's a blast from the past.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I go on to say something along the lines of, would anyone want him in the house though? If I don't cover that at the time, I want to say that now. Would anyone want to be stuck in a house? I'd be
terrified to eat his ice cream.
Yeah. Let's see what I said.
Just something that they put out there to just cause up a little bit of a stir. I'm sure that is probably the latter is probably the case. But, whatever the reason, that obviously did. We did touch upon this on the Hullabaloo podcast. But I think that, if you're a housemate and you were in that house with OJ Simpson, surely you would be shitting yourself every single day. I know I would. I would accidentally say something to upset him and then he would stab me in the middle of the night. So I can't see that really
Allegedly.
It does sound like it should have come out on April.
And that would be the time when there would be the 24-hour recording. You'd hope for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but also this is where any lawyer would be screaming at you saying, allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly. You are not allowed to defame people like that.
Well,
even if it's true, allegedly.
Yeah. In 2017, you could say whatever they wanted.
No, you couldn't.
You could when you were naive and you lived in a small town.
Yeah, you just weren't big enough for anyone to notice.
No, still not. So it's fine.
But still, let's.
Yeah.
From now on, let's hammer this into us.
Oops, sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, I promise I won't talk about OJ Simpson anymore.
No, just say allegedly. Just whenever you.
Oh, allegedly. Allegedly, I won't talk about OJ Simpson.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know how it works.
I'll teach you later.
I'm at being a ditzy blonde, James.
What, for a change?
Oh, and I knocked my headphones out as well, so I didn't hear what you said then at all. So that'll be nice on the edit.
I said nothing but loveliness.
I'm sure.
Didn't. So who knows what will happen in the future. If it's going to happen, it's apparently going to be on the Big Brother UK, but I think it's a really bad decision if they decide to do that, but who knows. All right, so next question is from a Mike Seafield, and that's his Twitter handles. What would you do with $1 million if you had to...
That's a boring one. Let's move on. Sorry, guys. If you really want to listen to this entire episode, as James said off recording, and I kind of said no, but it's all good now.
To which she's now doing immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a credit to James, who is my wonderful, wonderful guy just here. And he...
Other side.
No, not on my camera, you're not. You're there. You're there on my side. You're there on my side.
Yeah, but I'm here on the actual recording. There you go.
Yeah, but I'm pointing the wrong way now. All right, there you go.
Yeah, that fixes it.
Yeah. When you see the video again, if it comes out, which I hope it does, but when you see the video, you'll notice that I'm sat this side and you're sat that side.
I really hope I'm not, just to prove you're wrong.
Oh, yeah. Get in touch with my mate and get it changed over. Anyway, what was my
You're
point?
going to mirror it. You're going to mirror it.
Yeah, exactly. No, oh yeah, that was my point. Yeah, so James did say that if anyone wants to listen to this episode, obviously you can go back and listen to it in full. Doesn't mean we have to listen to it in full though. So let's see. I think there's only about 10 minutes left, so a TV show that they need to record, but it has been a giant inspiration, and also Kevin Smith has as well. He has inspired me to do everything, really, in a way. He's the go get it kind of thing. Try something because if it doesn't work, then move on to the next thing. Also down to even the fact that I'm on a podcast, or in fact I'm on 2 podcasts. The hullabaloo is mainly because of Dave. We were actually going to be recording a different podcast, but then it changed like literally seconds before we actually started recording. So we were all kind of tied in, so thank you very much for that, Dave. You threw us all in at the deep end, but we are making it work and we are making it happen. And Brian Johnson can turn around to us and he can say that 5 people on a podcast can't make it work. But I tell you, little backstory here. So the podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave, which I highly recommend that you should listen to, by the way. It is good. It's got Walter Flanagan, Brian Johnson and Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers on it. And those are the main 3 guys, and then there's some sort of guest hosts as well. And yeah, I managed to, because I've obviously skipped past the part where I said it, I managed to meet up with Brian Johnson in Edinburgh Comic Con, and I did actually do a sit-down interview with him, and that was my first ever interview with anyone. So that was quite daunting. But yeah, it was also a lot of fun as well. Sorry, excuse me a minute. I just needed a cough. Sorry about that. But
Dog's deaf now.
Dog's deaf now. Yeah. Well, I muted myself, so I hope it came off muted, because otherwise I've been pressing the wrong button this whole time. Oh dear.
If only.
Yeah. And he actually, it's quite funny because, again, you can go back and listen to the interview that I did. I released it on this podcast as well. I think, I can't remember what number, but look at it. This is Brian Johnson, Brian with a Y. And he said that the Hullabaloo podcast was going to fail because there was 5 people on there. That's too many people.
And he was right.
He was
It's
right.
too many bloody people. We talk over each other, and there's only 2 of us.
Yeah, exactly. But we're actually a lot better now. We're a lot better than we were. Right. Come on then. What's she saying now? You what, Brian Johnson? If you're listening, we can. Us 5, we can make it happen. And we can't.
Nope. He was right.
I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't.
All right, Orville.
Oh, well, at least you knew it was Orville. It's a good impression then. And we've also got 2 fantastic editors. So anyway, I keep talking about other things and I keep drifting off.
You
So I
say
do
fantastic.
apologise
I
that
think
I'm
you
all over
mean
the place.
overworked.
But last month. Overworked editors.
Yeah, you
Nah.
say fantastic, you mean overworked.
Yeah.
Probably hated
Although,
your
to be-
guts.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, I wasn't talking about myself, so, you know, it's fine. They're fantastic editors. I need to blow smoke up everyone's asses at this stage in my podcasting life.
I bet they were like, oh, good, another 3-hour episode I've got to mash up into 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know.
5 people on the podcast, what a good idea.
And the time zone. Don't forget the time zone. There was one girl in Arizona. There was 2 in Texas, if I remember, or Nebraska and Texas, which I think were on the same time zone. And then and then there was one in Canada, and then there was obviously me. So there was literally 4 different time zones in the entire recording of one episode.
I don't know how you did it. We can barely get us to organise times for recordings, and we live in the same country.
I know, it's crazy.
I was legitimately crapping myself. First of all, I was so excited, but I was also very nervous as well. I remember on the train on the way up, I felt like these weird butterflies in my stomach that it was finally going to happen, that I was going to meet my hero. But I was thinking to myself, what do I say? What do you say to somebody who has been such an inspiration in your life that gives an impact and doesn't embarrass you? You'll hear that episode eventually.
Well, you normally start with hello.
Yeah, I know.
What do you say? How about like talk like a normal human being? Oh.
Yeah, I think I was talking about Kevin Smith at that point. Sad actually, because I don't like his movies as much anymore. But anyway,
You can't all be wonderful.
no, but yeah.
At least he
Actually,
hasn't
so
disowned.
you'll hear
his
the things that I
old
said
stuff.
and the things.
Well, I'm sorry. Say again.
It's okay. He hasn't disowned his old stuff. That's when it hurts the most.
Oh yeah,
When
absolutely.
someone turns around and says, "Yeah, you know that stuff that you really liked? Well, actually, I never did. Therefore, I'm never going to do it again." That hurts more than him just carrying on and just not being as good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
At least, whilst you may not like his more modern stuff, at least his older stuff, he still stands by. Like Mallrats is still fantastic.
Oh god, yeah,
Clerks is great. You know, Clerks is kind of a similar setup. That's great.
yeah.
When you've still got stuff like that, at least that's something.
Yeah, I think it just got a bit repetitive for me towards the end. I think it was from what's the one that he did with his daughter? Not
Oh, that was the hockey zombie ones, wasn't it? I think.
no. Oh, I don't know. The movies from Tusk onwards were the ones that I didn't like. Basically, I really liked Tusk. I thought that was brilliant. No, not for you.
I like the concept, but I felt like the execution was a bit off. But other than that,
Yeah.
you know, he
Yeah.
tried something different.
Got to give him credit for that, at least, haven't you? So, yeah, right.
That did embarrass myself, because granted, I am always going to embarrass myself. Unfortunately, I think I'm that character, but at the same time, I laugh it off. So I think that's the important thing in life, is that you mess up, you laugh about it. If you mess up in a bad way, then you rectify it. But if it's in a funny way, then you can just like giggle it off, and you know, it's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, we laugh at you all the time.
Yeah, I laugh at me all the time as well. Recently, I edited an episode that I'm just on, and I was giggling at myself while editing. So I think I'm fucking funny, everybody. Sorry if you don't like swearing. Oops. There you go.
I'll make sure she puts a penny in the jar later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit towards the end now. We've got about 2 minutes left. So let's see what I do now.
So say for example, if we were using Hero by the Foo Fighters, then I would say words that defined the word hero. Now, this is said in a later.
This is me talking about games, music-related games. So although I haven't done this specific one, which was going to be like, you know, like I was just saying, Hero by Foo Fighters, I was going to say policeman, or you know, like say words that relate to hero or firefighter or whatever.
Okay.
And then you have to try and work out the song. But I have done music songs. So I've done some of the things that she said. So I said.
We did invent. You did invent reverse that tune.
Exactly.
So, you know, current champion, by the way.
You are as well. And also just to point out as well, Andy stole this idea for the last day of work, his work. And I believe did not give me credit for it. So there we have it. Sorry, I love you, Andy. But I had to just bring a bit of Codswallop to the episode, didn't I? No, I'm not the owner of the game. I'm just the creator.
episode, but I will use an example. So I'd say firefighter, because that's the first hero that I can think of. So I would say that word, and then whoever is the person who listens to that artist then has to guess the title of the song that I'm trying to describe. If they can't get it from the 5 words that I'm actually using, then I'm going to read a few of the lyrics, not in the tune, but just simply read them. And then obviously if they don't get it from there, then I give them the answer. So that's one of the ideas. There's many ideas that are going around my head at the moment. There will be obviously different things every episode because there's going to be different people every episode. But the other idea as well that I have is if you know when you type into Google, like we just did earlier, and you type something in and it actually comes up with a really random sayings. So when you type in why, what, when, how, and it comes up with how does a giraffe go to sleep at night? Do they lay down? Do they stand up? Do they just balance their head against a tree branch?
I just needed to pause for a laugh. Do they lean their head against a tree branch?
Yeah, the famous African Serengeti where there's bloody trees everywhere that's just got a load of giraffe leaning on them.
But how do they go to sleep at night?
They curl up on the floor.
Do
You've
they?
not been to a zoo?
Not for a while.
Yeah, they took their legs under their body and then they curl up.
Oh,
Then their necks can curl round.
oh, a bit like a cat and a dog. Oh, that's cute.
Just
Okay.
a really long curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. that's all different things that I'm thinking of anyway. So there will be many other things hopefully, and hopefully there'll be a few inappropriate ones, and then that's going to be the topic of the show. So we're going to decide to talk about that and see if we can maybe solve the reason, or we'll just have a general discussion. It doesn't have to be a long one. If it's not a fantastic topic, then of course we can just cut it out as well. So so that's really my ideas for this podcast, and I have now been talking for a while, so
Yes.
So we went from a decent structure to Gemma moans.
Yeah.
We're gonna have questions, we're gonna have topics, and now it's just I didn't like that this happened, and I want to whinge about it.
Well, in those days, though, the idea as well was that I was going to have a different person on every week. So,
And then you realised you didn't have that many friends.
well, yeah, but but no, honestly, trying to pin down interviews with all different types of people, whether it's friend or whatever, it was so hard. So that's when James Stafford reached out, and then I thought that he might be a good co-host. Which, to be fair, he's been the co-host for about 8 years, so. So he did do the podcast proud, and then Andy came along, then Joanne, then Gabriella, and then the wonderful little Jamesy boy. He came along as well. So meanwhile the others left.
I wonder why.
I know. I do wonder. Moving on. Right. Come on. What's the ending? What's the ending?
Come on, they'll
I
be
think
close
at this
soon.
stage I'm going to sign off. So this has been Gemma, and I have been talking Codswallop.
New pod world order.
Whoops. Well,
That
was
going
the
in
network.
very dangerous territory then. I was like, that man is not going to say that N-word.
no.
No. Yes, thank Christ.
Well, I also just gave away the network name. So if anyone was paying attention, you got the network. There's a little bit more. Or is there? I don't know. Oh no, it's finished. Right. That's that.
And so are we.
Well, I think that we've been listening and talking enough bloody Codswallop to last a bloody lifetime.
It was a lovely trip down Codswallop memory lane.
It was. I'm glad that I do edit the podcast a lot better and I leave more space now. So they're going like this little gap here. That can be removed.
Quick, she breathed. Chop.
I know. But it also shows in some ways how far I've come, but it also shows how far the podcast has come as well, doesn't it? So I think it's really, it's nice. I'm glad. Right. Well, in that case, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
And I have been James.
You have, and thank you ever so much for joining me, James.
It's been my
Bye-bye.
pleasure. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.